Hello friends, and welcome to 11.5a, surface area of prisms and cylinders. So if you remember, a prism is anything with two bases. So like, you've got your rectangular prism right here. I would say the two bases are the two that are the same size or the same shape. So like I have these two squares, those are my two bases. All right, and then this prism has a triangle here and a triangle here. So my bases are these triangles. A prism has two bases and then all the inside that connect it. Remember, a cylinder also has two bases. It's just a can. So the surface area is the total area of the faces and the curved surfaces of a 3D figure. It is the amount of wrapping paper it takes to perfectly wrap a shape. It is the amount of cardboard that if Amazon was able to use the exact cardboard without any overlap, it's exactly how much cardboard they use. It's how much paint you would need to cover the outside of something. That is all. It's the surface. It's the area of the surface. Remember, area is all going to be like units squared. Meters squared, feet squared. And it's because we're still just doing area. We're still just going to do length times width, even though it's a 3D figure. Because you can unfold all of these. You can unfold this rectangular prism into like this long skinny thing. Look, they chose their two bases as that. This long skinny thing and two squares. Or the two triangles and then the long skinny thing in the middle, all the middle. So my formula is that capital B is area of the base. Because we have two bases, we need to multiply that times 2. The P is the perimeter of the base. The perimeter of the base is how far around the outside of the base you go. So if I have this plus this plus this, that's the perimeter of the triangle. Well, if you think about it, when you unfold that triangle, it's this plus this plus this, right? So the perimeter of the base, the perimeter, this plus this plus this, is equal to just the length of the inside. And then the H is the height of the figure. But height of the figure is how far apart the two bases are. So if I decide that these are my two bases, because I have two triangles, the height is that one right there. It is how far apart the two bases are. So this is my height. So base times perimeter times height is going to get me all this inside times the area of my two bases is this stuff. All right, so we are going to name the figures, then solve for the lateral and or surface area. Round your answer to the nearest 10. All right, my loves, this is a rectangular prism. We know this one. We're good with this one. Prism. Okay, so my surface area is 2 times the base plus perimeter times the height. I'm going to go ahead and claim my two bases. Get a highlighter out. These are my two bases. My height is the distance between those two bases. That's my height, right? My height's going to be pink. My base today is going to be blue. So let's see. 2 of my area of my base, the area of this base is 4 times 3. So 2 times 4 times 3. Plus, the perimeter of the base is 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3. So that's 8 plus 6 is, can't do basic math, 14. Times the height is 5. The distance between these two bases, I'm going to put a little h there, is height. 4, 7. Yeah, okay. Making sure I didn't make any mistakes. So 2 times 12 plus 14 times 5. You can type that straight in your calculator, or you can do it all the way through if you want. 12 times 2 is 24. Now think about it. 12 plus 12, right? That's the outside. That's my 24 right here. And then 14 times 5. So the 14 comes from 4 times 5 is 20. I got another 20 on the back. I got another 3 by 5 of 15 here. and a 3 by 5 here, a 15 here. So 20 plus 20 plus 15 plus 15 is the same thing as 14 times 5, or 70. Good, did the math right. Because 4 times 5 plus 3 times 5 plus 4 times 5 plus 3 times 5. So we just added them up to get my perimeter is 70. So my surface area, all these all added up, is going to be 94 centimeters squared. It's an area square. All right, I've got 2 bases. We're going to get those highlighters out. Those bases are these triangles. This is a right triangle. So I've got, and then my height is going to be right here, the distance between those 2. So I've got 2 base plus perimeter times height. We're writing it every time. It'll help you keep it in your brain. We know this is a triangular prism. All right, and the area of the base is going to be 1/2 base times height. The 2 that make the right angle are the base and the height, right? So 2 times base times height divided by 2. Plus, the perimeter of this base is 4 plus 3 plus 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. Times the height, which was 6. So that's going to be 12 plus 72 is 94 square centimeters. I've kind of quit explaining where these came from and the why here. I just plugged things in. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Base and height were 4 and 3 because they made the right angle. 5 was my hypotenuse. My perimeter came from 4 plus 3 plus 5. 12. 4 plus 3. It's 8. 12. Good. Yep. Making sure I didn't make any mistakes there. Okay. My 2 bases. Get out those highlighters. My 2 bases are pentagons. And then my height is the distance between those pentagons. 2b plus ph. Okay. So the base, the area of a pentagon, is apothem times perimeter divided by 2 plus the perimeter times the height. So let's see. 2 times the apothem is 6. The perimeter is going to be 14 times 5. 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. 14 times 5 is 70. 6 times 70 divided by 2. Plus the perimeter is 70 and the height is 8. So let's see. 6 times 70 divided by 2 times 2 again is 420. Plus 70 times 80, or 8, is 560. And so that should be 980 square feet. And this is a pentagonal prism, pentagonal prism. Making sure we're still recording. We are golden. Let's keep on keeping on then. Cylinders. Cylinders are the exact same. They have 2 bases, a circle on top and a circle on bottom. And they have the distance between those 2 are the height, is the height. So I have my 2 circles. And then it ends up making a rectangle in the middle, which is pretty chill, pretty cool. And the distance around that rectangle. So the perimeter of a circle, right? The distance around. Perimeter is just circumference. So we knew this was the height, right? That's how tall it is. And then this wraps perfectly around that circle. So that perimeter is just my circumference. So yet again, I'm going to write 2b plus perimeter times height, okay? Because it is the same. A cylinder is a prism, but it's 2 pi r squared because the area of a circle is pi r squared. The perimeter of a circle is diameter pi times the height. If you wanted to put 2 pi r here, you could, right? Diameter pi and 2 pi r are the same thing, but I like cherry pie, is delicious. I like pi d, makes more sense to me. All right, solve for the lateral or surface area. Leave in terms of pi. All right, so we are not going to put pi in our calculator at all. We're going to carry it all the way through and leave it down for the very end. All right, 2 times the base plus the perimeter times the height, because that's what I need to memorize, so I'm going to keep on keeping on. All right, so 2 times pi r squared, so pi 5 squared, plus the circumference perimeter is going to be 10 pi times 10. All right, so 25 times 2 is 50 pi plus 100 pi. So my final answer is 150 pi centimeters squared. Now, if you wanted to see what that was in decimal form, 150 pi, put it in my calculator, is about 71.2-ish. But I'm going to leave the pi out for now. All right, 2 times the base plus the perimeter. 2 times the base plus the perimeter times the height. So my height is 9. My bases are my circles. Still worth highlighting, even though it's pretty obvious on these. Bases are the circles. Heights are in pink. The distance between those two bases. All right, so we've got 2 times pi r squared. So r is going to be 17.5 squared plus 15 pi times 9. So let's see, 7.5 squared times 2 is 112.5 pi plus 15 times 9 is 135 pi. So let's see, in pi form, this would be 135 plus 112.5. Not the best pi form because I really need to put this as a fraction, but 247.5 pi. Let's see, what is that as a fraction? Would be 495 over 2 pi, or 777.5 meters squared. All the different formats, all the same thing. Why isn't that 0.25? Oh, because I multiplied it times 2. I got it. All right, 2 times the bases plus the perimeter times the height. So 2 pi r squared plus 12 pi, diameter pi, times the height. So 36 times 2 is 72, 72 pi plus 12 times 15 is 180 pi. So 180 plus 72 is 252 pi inches squared, or 791.7 inches squared. Direction. Solve for the indicated values. A floor of a dining room is that by that. The walls are that. If 1 gallon of paint covers that, how many gallons will it take? Okay, so first we need to find the surface area because that is what paint is, right? So the floor is a 13 by 16, and the walls are 8 feet. Well, if we're not covering the floor, I don't even need the 2 base. Okay, so if I think about surface area, 2 times base plus perimeter times height. Well, the 2 bases are my floor and my ceiling. We're covering the walls right now, so let's not worry about my floor and my ceiling. Let's just do the perimeter times the height. So let's see, 13 plus 16 times 2. So my perimeter is 58. My height is 8 feet. So that is 464 square feet is my surface area. So I only need 1 gallon. I guess the difference would be if you wanted to paint the floor and the ceiling, I suppose. I could add my 2 bases. I don't think it asked for that. I'm going to go for it. A cylindrical container has a diameter of 16 and a height of 4. What's the surface area of the cylinder? Let's see. So if the diameter is 16, so 2 times the bases plus the perimeter times the height. So 2 pi r squared. Pi r squared plus 16 pi times the height. So 64 times 2 is 128 pi. 16 times 4, 64 pi plus 128 is 192 pi. What are we talking feet squared? I will count off. Times pi is about 603.2 square feet. Cool. Hope that helps. Word problems, you're fine. You can figure it out. You know what you're talking about. Your homework looks very similar. We're going to name all the figures, and then you are going to find the surface area. We do need to remember some of our other formulas, right? So like the base on this one is a trapezoid. Area of a trapezoid. So 2 times base plus perimeter times height. That trapezoid is going to be base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2 of just that trapezoid, right? So that's just that part. So there's a lot of steps on that guy. You might have to show your work somewhere else. I think that you're going to be fine. Good luck.